So I hope my slides are visible. Can somebody confirm?
They are visible. We can see them.
Okay, then I can proceed. Let me do this and then we'll proceed. All right. So thanks again for coming for this brief introduction into artificial intelligence from the angle of potentials and drawbacks. My name is Welderufael. I'm joining you from Frankfurt. So hello from Frankfurt. Salamat. So in this short intro, I do have some guiding questions that I would like to address in my presentation. So it's a kind of introductory session, since Abenezer will later give an application or detailed insights into current technologies in AI. My task is basically to lay the foundation for the next presentation. So I will give introductory content. So I do have guiding questions for this. Particularly, we will start by defining what AI is and why has it become so powerful recently. What are the potential applications? So there are many number of applications, but I had to select a few, and likewise the challenge. But before we go, I would like to share the following story with you. A bit more than a decade ago, I was in a conference while I was studying my master's in mobile systems. This conference is one of the probably top tier conferences in mobile data and mobile data analytics. And there was this professor from, then he was at the University of Berkeley. His name is Michael Franklin. Right now he's at the University of Chicago. And he was guest speaker, the keynote speaker of the conference. And what he did was, or basically what he does is he runs predictions every decade. So he had made predictions in 1999, and then a decade later he came back with his list of predictions, and then also predict for the next decade. So strikingly, all of his thoughts have been in practice over the decade that has been over by then. And he made a compelling prediction that the next decade we will focus on Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and cloud computing, among other technologies. So for those of us who are in the technology area and who have been following the developments over the last decade, Professor Franklin's prediction was spot on. So for today, I still haven't seen what he has predicted for the next decade. I try to approach him because he was not in the MDM conference last year. But we will see. But for today, we will focus on AI, one of the most influential topics, or one of the most consequential topics on the other side of the day. So we will start by defining what AI is. How did it start? So the term artificial intelligence was coined by Professor John McCarthy in 1956 in a conference of like-minded people. And then he gave his imagination or his thoughts of this technology, that it's the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So it's a broad definition of AI. It still is heavily worded. Particularly, we don't know what intelligent machines are. So he left the scope at a very big level. Since then, there has been many attempts to define AI, and the concept really varies depending on who you speak to. If you speak to computational neuroscientist, or if you speak to a psychologist or a computer scientist, or maybe a different field, you would probably get different definitions or understandings of AI. Most recently, people tend to agree that AI are artificial intelligence machines, or machines that exhibit AI, has the property of mimicking human intelligence, which is characterized by behaviors of cognitive ability, memorizing stuff, learning and doing decision-making and creativity. But then again, what is human intelligence? The things that we are trying to mimic, what is it? And do we know what it is? And if we don't, how do we mimic something that we don't? And this takes us to defining what knowledge, intelligence, and so on are. This has been a debate for many years. If you look at philosophy of mind, for example, there are two rivals or two approaches into this. So I'm really simplifying this at the expense of really simplistic. There could be other more sophisticated and more detailed approach, but two of the prominent ones are dualism, which interprets the mind as non-physical, which has non-physical properties, things that can be measured through physical approach, and therefore it is impossible to reproduce its behavior. It's non-physical, something that we cannot measure, and therefore we cannot reproduce it. That's the first look from the philosophy of mind, and it dates back really years back into the times of Descartes. And the other one is materialistic or materialism. And in this approach, people who advocate this approach think that the mind can be explained physically, and therefore it's possible to replicate it. And most of AI's approach have been following the second one so far. From another perspective, the renowned behavioral economist Daniel Kahneman had this very well-known book called Thinking Fast and Slow, where he formulated the machinery of thought. And he basically divides this into two parts, system one and system two, types of thoughts or types of thinking, which also influences our decisions. In system one, you see basically it's automatic, it's fast, it's also subconscious, and it helps us in everyday decisions. The other one is a bit conscious, which also results into it being so slow and takes a lot of effort and can make complex decisions. So when we take this to AI or to the contemporary AI, we found ourselves mostly implementing the system one type of thinking into artificial intelligence or into AI agents in different forms, obviously. the fun part and the most interesting part, and some people even think that this is probably why we haven't yet defined or understood what intelligence is because we use intelligence to understand intelligence itself. So we probably need something else, something bigger to understand it. But at the core of AI, if you see in a very simplistic way, AIs or artificial intelligence agents or machine learning models are trying to replicate human intelligence, human decision making, which is represented in data, in the form of data. And so they do take broad assumptions at the top level, which is to say that there are data, representation of artifacts, measurements, behaviors from the past and from the present. And the systems assume, or the people who design the systems assume, that these behaviors will transcend, will continue. And so we will be able to predict what will come next. In the event that the entire assumption is changing, or for example, if behaviors completely deviate, if humans start to behave differently tomorrow, AIs wouldn't be able to predict how people decide, how people understand things, and how people act in certain situations. So this is a broad philosophical assumption that AI takes into consideration to operate. If you take machine learning, for example, which is a branch of artificial intelligence, which we see so many applications of these days, what it basically does, it has a base knowledge fed by certain data, and therefore it should be able to learn by itself without being explicitly programmed to behave in a certain way. So it learns from data, understands artifacts, understands decision points, and behaves. And that goes on improving as it gets more data. At the heart of all of this is mathematics, mathematical optimization. It's basically doing, is it a red one or a green one? So it's deciding, or it's leveling the things into different clusters, into different knowledge classes. This is a very simplistic approach. If you go to deep learning, it gets a bit more detailed and a bit more complex, but the rationale still remains the same. So there are people who think that probably then if it's just a mathematical optimization, then did John McCarthy make a mistake to add this intelligence word into it? Is it a misnomer? Could we have actually called it something else, like applied statistics or automated systems or algorithmic systems? There are institutions and people who forbid using the phrase artificial and intelligence, and instead they use algorithmic systems quite often. Even in legal statements, you would find this kind of wordings. This is because we or the entire community of AI hasn't agreed what it is doing, what the AI is doing, what it is, what is intelligence, what are we trying to replicate, and how are we doing this? And so probably it's better to take it at a basic level, at the mathematical foundation level, and that algorithmic systems should settle it. So to understand or to evaluate if a certain system exhibits intelligent behaviors or not, it is not easy or probably also impossible to empirically verify it, but there has been test methodologies developed over many years to see if a certain agent, if a certain AI agent fulfills intelligence definition or not. And one of them is a Turing test. Alan Turing is one of the prominent people in AI, in the early AI in the 50s and 60s. He developed this imitation machine method, which was later developed into Turing test. What happens here basically is that you have a machine in one place and a person in another place or in a room, and both communicate to a person outside the room. So when the person outside the room asks similar questions or maybe different, interacts differently to both of them, and if by he, I mean the person outside the room, cannot distinguish that which is the machine or which is a living person, then we would assume that the machine has passed Turing test. So this is one measurement of machine intelligence, which means the person and the machine are exhibiting similar behaviors. A second one is the Chinese room argument, they call it. So basically here what happens is you have a person who is Chinese in origin outside the room, speaks Chinese, and another person who doesn't understand Chinese language, who doesn't read Chinese language. And so what happens is the person outside the room writes in Chinese to the person inside the room, and the person inside the room uses some intelligent machine to understand this and replies in Chinese. So if the person outside the room can understand and allude that the reply makes sense, then the person inside the room helping the man can be considered intelligent. Another one, a latest one, is Lovelace test. This is named after Ada Lovelace, one of the first programmers in computing. And here, basically, the AI would be tested to exhibit creative behaviors, and that rigorous test of creative behaviors that experts ask the machine and try to decide if the machine is exhibiting new knowledge creation, creative thinking, and creative practices. Only if it doesn't, they would categorize it as intelligence. This is a kind of new method. It's a bit controversial because it's being judged by people in front of the machine. And we don't know what creative means and what is not. For example, playing a chess requires some sort of creativity, but is it really creating new knowledge, or is it just choosing from a list of options that it has in a way which is not creative? So such detailed topics are still ongoing. It's the latest addition into the list of intelligence tests, but serves quite well to check. Right now, into the if we see in the previous slide, we saw that many of the AI agents and AI tools are kind of system one. So which means they do execute tasks in a certain situation, but they don't do deliberate thinking over many steps or over complicated tasks. And these AI types are called narrow AI. So they are very specialized in one task. But if it takes these AI tools into a different setting, into a different environment, into a different situation where artifacts are completely changed, they wouldn't perform well, or probably they would behave a bit strangely. So we are at this level right now. Many of the AIs, including the LLMs that we use on daily basis, are meant to solve a certain problem, a certain set of problems, and they do function really well in their domain. The feature that this research is heading into is mostly into AGI, artificial general intelligence, where people are expecting to see artificial intelligence agents who have human level understanding, human level intelligence. Again, we don't know what this human level intelligence is, but of course, different approaches are still being tried out. The next one is super intelligence, a little bit concerning, where machines would actually be more intelligent than humans. We will see. I mean, it's not sure, it's not clear how the future would go. It's certainly advancing, and we have seen narrow AI performing extremely well. But would it advance to AGI and ASI? We will see. And many of you may have noticed that over the last couple of decades, and especially in the last 5, 6, 7 years, AI tools have been advancing quite rapidly. And this is basically attributed to 3 important reasons. There are more, but the most important ones are 3. And one is the existence of big data, the generation of big data, that we humans and non-human things, also sensors, generate vast amount of data every day into the internet, which can be fed into AI models, which helps them to, of course, extrapolate knowledge. Second reason is advancement in processing and computing resources, especially GPUs and AI chips. Not only that, they have become super powerful and super fast, but also affordable, also quite cheap in terms of money. Third and most important part is the advancement in the algorithms themselves. So we have seen over the last years, there have been many ups and downs for AI winters and AI summers. Researchers still continue to do their job, but the advancement wasn't there, particularly because there was not enough data and there was not enough computing resources to train advanced models. So so far what we have covered is a look into at a really high level what AI is and what has driven its development in the last years. In the next slides, I will look into things that we should be careful about. So drawbacks, disadvantages that we will have to be careful about, and advantages. So I have selected 3 from 3 threats and 3 advantages because the possibilities are vast, and so I have to choose the most impactful ones. Some of those threats, some of the problems that are coming due to application of AI include basically bias. Bias is probably topmost and most consequential drawbacks that we have to be careful about. So what's happening in the entire architecture, or in its simplistic form, is that we have input data, we have an agent that is trained on this data, and we ask it to do a task, and it should perform, it should give outputs. However, little is understood, especially if we look into deep learning, the most advanced AI algorithms. Very little is understood on how the AI agent is making its decisions. How does it make decisions? How does it take data and determine that this action has to be taken, or this data belongs to such category or not? Very little is known. There are efforts to include transparency and explainability into the AI. So basically asking the AI to explain its decision rationale at each decision point. But it's very new or very in its early stage, which means we are still facing the consequence of not knowing how the black box model is making its decisions. So AI is designed by humans, obviously, based on data generated by humans and things. Humans are obviously biased, but AI is even worse. If we see in some situations, for example, in some models, this has been tested and demonstrated that in some situations, the AI models think that the entire CEOs in the world are white people, white men. Women don't become doctors, lawyers, or judges. They do what stereotypically society thinks women should do. This is how also AI models exhibit. And when it comes to color and discrimination and so forth, we still see this aggravated in AI models. Particularly, for example, many models think black male commit crimes, and black women just flip burgers. They cannot become lawyers, judges, and so forth. So these are compelling issues that we have to deal, that we have to face head on. And the other is job displacement. The more intelligent these agents become, the more capabilities they will have to execute tasks, and therefore the more business leaders, executives will think to replace some sets of jobs by AI. We have already seen this, especially in 2023. And there are statistical indicators that this is even getting worse. So 37% of business that were interviewed in a certain situation last year said AI has replaced workers in their environments. And many, close to half of them, think that there will be layoffs in 2024, which is caused by AI's advancement. We have seen so many layoffs. I'm not yet sure if this is due to AI, but we cannot rule out the fact that AI is contributing into the layoffs, because obviously business leaders want to optimize processes, want to save money, and therefore replace some jobs by AI. In May 2023 alone, and in the States alone, about 4,000 jobs were lost to AI. This is quite a large number, even. And we see that this job replacement or job displacement impact is not the same across different disciplines. It impacts certain job areas more than the others. And so individuals have to also think to adjust themselves into the new world that we are entering into. Another consequence, another drawback of AI is ethics and privacy. This is also where I spend more time. And the thing is, as we become more connected to the internet, as we become to carry more internet-connected devices, we generate data, and this data represents our lifestyles, personalities, behaviors, and health, and so on. And so the more data we generate and the more data we'll put out onto the internet, the more consequences it will have into our privacy. Many of these information types that we share are identifiable, attributable to living persons, to individuals, and therefore the consequences are really high, including threats to life. Some are even quite sensitive information types that we would rather not want to share to a person sitting behind us, but we would somehow end up sharing this one to the internet, which is even more consequential because the person sitting behind us might forget that we have shared this information to him or to her, but the internet doesn't. It will store it forever in some form or the other, which means the consequence of sharing these types of information is quite big. The other related to ethics and is issues related to intellectual property. We see AI regenerating knowledge or extending existing knowledge, and therefore there comes topics of who now owns the intellectual property of the new knowledge that AI is generating from existing knowledge. Another probably most important one is disinformation, especially in democracies. AI agents, automated tools, or sophisticated algorithms are being deliberately used to influence human behavior, to influence human decision making, and to influence, for example, who individuals should vote in an election process. This has huge consequences to democracy, to things that we have assumed would work in the past that are being now challenged due to advancements in AI and internet technologies. So I don't want to set a gloomy picture, but also give some hope that indeed AI can also be very powerful in solving some of the most pressing issues we have. And I will just choose three. I know Abenezer will continue and give some application areas later. So for now, if we see some of the biggest problems we have as global community, one is climate change and the consequence of change due to climate change. We have seen how this can impact lives. We are also seeing this, especially in Europe during summers and in Africa during rainy seasons and so forth. So perhaps AI can help us model the environment and predict how climate change would affect humanity over short, medium, and long term. This would be helpful to develop also AI-based sustainability solutions. Also would be an input to policy to design environment-friendly practices. And it can also be used to detect disasters, help in planning them, and help in mitigating them, and if they happen, help in responding to them also. Another potential area that AI can be applied into is in resolving inequality. So climate change, inequality, and healthcare, these are the three probably most pressing topics we have globally. And so to address inequality, AI shouldn't be contributing into the widening digital divide, rather help narrow it down. So probably we can use AI to develop, for example, skills development, tooling, personalized, tailored to the situation of the underprivileged, to design financial inclusion programs, and also to develop targeted social programs. For example, we can use AI to identify children that are most at risk of dropping out of school due to hunger or due to other circumstances, and to help them stay there by implementing interventions early on. Third one and most important application area where AI can support humanity is in addressing health-related challenge. It's already being used in drug discovery and development, and diagnosis and prediction, and developing personalized medicines, and also in running surgeries, remote healthcare provision, and so forth. So that is so far that I have for today. Thank you so very much for listening in. I would be happy to receive some questions. And thank you, Allah. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Welderufael, for a very comprehensive and nice presentation. Maybe if you have a few minutes, will you be able to take some questions, or if people have?
Yes, I do have some minutes. So
Okay.
please go ahead.
Yeah, so we have some, I don't know, around 20 people here in room, and some people in Zoom as well. Anyone wants to ask question, I can. In the Zoom also, you can raise your hand. And maybe many of us, I will just ask one brief question. At the university, I have heard from the instructors that they are worried about how to monitor their students. Like, for example, if they give assignments and of course, the ethics is there, but are there any monitoring tools and these kind of things available as well? Or do you have any comments on these ideas?
Good question. So I know students or maybe teaching institutions are worried about LLMs, ChatGPT, and other applications because they can solve basically exercise questions, especially language-based exercise questions, not so much empirical or mathematical questions. So I don't think that we would be able to really, control students on what to do and what not to do with LLMs. Maybe what's good to do is to change the type of questions. We have seen in this brief presentation that AI doesn't do so much of creativity. Maybe the nature of questions has to be changed instead of, list down what are the capital cities of 10 countries, maybe more creative question, which AI cannot do. That would also help probably to educate students in a more creative way.
Okay, Arkava, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Alula and Wolde, and for organizing this workshop members. Thank you to to share your idea with us about AI. I would like to ask one question here. How can we use AI for preserving of heritage properties to transcend heritages from generation to generation and for their sustainability use? And how can we use this new and recent technology, AI, regarding to protect our heritages? Thank you.
Thank you, Arkava. Thank you for the question. Important question again. So in heritage preservation and tourism and areas like that, I think there is a big potential for AI to intervene and to help. But it's like this. So you need AI and you need domain knowledge. So these are mathematical models that have to be trained on a domain, on a certain domain. So in heritage, for example. So we would have to have, we would need to have a multidisciplinary approach here. So composition of people with expertise from AI and heritage and tourism. But certain things that it can be quite useful for is, for example, in predicting the status of heritage sites, if they are being damaged or if they are, if they need intervention, for example. You can take many pictures over many years, and the AI would be able to spot what has been changing over these years. And so it will more or less with some accuracy would be able to tell you, well, in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, such and such might happen to this heritage site. Therefore, you can plan already. You can allocate resources, human and capital resources, to preserve the heritage site. So this is one area of intervention, one area of application that I see right now. There could be more, for example, in tourism, in conjunction with augmented reality, for example. How do you want to overlay to present information in a more intuitive, more interactive way to tourists that want to visit? And I can also see AI can be super powerful in such areas. But like I said, it needs robust approach, robust programs, efforts from all stakeholders, including people from AI, tourism, heritage, and so forth, history, and the like. I hope this addresses your question, Arkava.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you,
It
Arkava.
gives me, a brief understanding. Okay.
Thank you. Arkava works at the Federal Agency for Culture Conservation in Addis Ababa, so it's a very relevant question for him. Maybe I would love to add one question. There is one question in text as well. I'll come back to it. And, for example, here where we are in Makale, the internet is very slow, and many of the AI tools use cloud computing, which means you have to upload a lot of data to internet. Also, you have to receive, which you need good amount of quality internet or bandwidth. Do you have any suggestion what kind of strategies we can use to effectively use the virtues of AI still while you have a very limited infrastructure to use internet, and also when the power of computers and the machines is weak. How to survive in the world with a very low infrastructure? If there is any trick or strategy.
Well, yeah, I know this. There is this area of AI that is developing right now. So you see, the premise is that the more data you have, the more intelligent the machines will be. That has been the thinking so far. And now people are questioning this already, because obviously we have more data, which requires more computing power, more resources, more electricity. But is this data at the level of quality that the AI models would need? Is the next question that people are arguing about. So the quality of the data, not the amount, but the quality. And so there are already algorithms being built on small amount data, very high quality, very well crafted, but very small amount of data. And the results, the performance is astonishing, and they are not in market quite as spread as the other models, but there are people who advocate for small models. Small is beautiful, as they say it in the AI. So maybe as a strategy, maybe we would have to focus on approach like that, on low computational resource models that can perform comparatively well. So this is probably not answering the question right now, but probably gives an insight into what can happen in the future. So right now, there is no way to make, for example, ChatGPT less power consuming than it is. It's just not possible. It takes quite a lot of power, electricity, to run the model. Some say it consumes an electricity that would amount to providing electricity to a small town daily. So this is quite huge. And I know with the current circumstance we have in Tigray, I think we would have to deal with it for some time until we make deliberate decisions to move into small models.
Okay, thank you. And there is, from the text, there is a follow-up question from what you are talking about on heritage. What kind of data feed could be combined with photos when assessing heritage? Like,
yes. So heritage can be described in photos as well as in text. So what I would do, for example, is if I'm taking pictures or documenting pictures of a heritage site over many years and feeding this into an AI algorithm to learn changes or to spot deltas over these years, and to also help me predict what might happen to this heritage site in the coming 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. I would add also textual data into this, describing what this is, describing context, because that's what basically the AI models lack. They lack understanding context. So the more data, the more parameters you add into this, the more information, the more insights you would get. So for example, textual data or even audio video data instead of just pictures. So combination of multimodal approach.
yeah, okay. Thank you. There is another question. Is there any from Sam Ratu? Is there any possibility AI can also be trained for architecture or other field? Would you like to reflect? I think maybe this will be talked more in the next presentation, but if you can.
Yes. Yes, I think Abenezer can address is better than I can, but I can try. So in my presentation, I touched upon ethical issues and privacy issues, and one of those is intellectual property. And I think in architectural designs may have art intellectual properties that you register in your name or in your institution's name, and what happens when AI replicates something that looks like that and still tries to make money out of this. So issues like this can be, I think, very relevant to architecture. But like you said, I think this can better be addressed in the next presentation.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Welderufael from Frankfurt. I believe now you have to go to work. You did this before breakfast, and
Correct.
we are very thankful for your presentation. It was really amazing and eye-opening, especially for those of us who see at AI from the outside and try to know what kind of spirits run behind the computer screen. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Allah, and all of you for the session we had together. I wish you a wonderful day. Hello, salam, salam kulluhum. Salam, salam. I am also available on LinkedIn. We can catch up there. Buruk ma'alti.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Ciao, ciao.
We will go to our next speaker is Abenezer. Abenezer is also another alumni of Makkah University and this school. He's currently in Seattle. He's mainly working in many of the creative industries, especially he works and experiments with generative AI and tools. So also when he was a student here, his thesis was related to computational architecture, and from early age, he was more interested with this kind of things, and he's engaged in many activities, including visual arts and filmmaking. So he will speak about these issues, and also I believe he will demonstrate some of his works. And I will leave the stage to Abenezer. Thank you. Abenezer, you can continue. Abenezer, are you speaking? We can't hear you. Maybe it's better to try to rejoin. Sometimes the audio. Okay, please rejoin. We can't hear you. I think your mic is on, but we can't hear you. Can you try with a different device, like another mic or something? Earphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Okay. Okay, I was just using my phone's microphone. That's fine. Thank you very much, Alula. So as Alula said, my name is Abenezer, and I'm a Goethe University alumni. I've been graduated in 2016 in architecture and urban planning. Since graduation, I've been working in graphic design and generative AI. The generative AI part actually for the last 2 years. So while they covered all the topics that must be heard, that must be covered. So I will just demonstrate how to generate, how do I generate my works. So I will try to show you 3 generative models. The first one is, as you know, ChatGPT is the chatbot. So you can prompt any question and it can answer you. So I will try to demonstrate how to use ChatGPT. Then the second model is I will show you how to generate image from text. So the second one will be text to picture model, and the third one will be text to audio. You can give him a text prompt. You can give it a text prompt, then it will generate an audio. The third one will be from image to video, so or text to video. I can show you both image to video and text to video. The last model will be I can show you an upscale model, which after generating image, you can upscale a low-res image. So I think I have to share my screen. I'm not a Zoom guy. I used to, I use Teams most of the time. So let me figure out how to share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a green button down.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you share the desktop or just one window? One. Now we see the
Can
Zoom.
you see?
Yeah.
The Zoom, not
Can,
the.
you
Do
can
you see the?
Yes.
My desktop.
We see your desktop, but the Zoom is open. So there are 2 options. You share the desktop entirely. So when you change Windows, we can follow. But if you only open one application, we can only see that one. So can you try to change and we can see?
Okay. Okay. So I have to say it like I look to share screen.
Share desktop. Yes, share screen, and then you can choose the desktop part if you want.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you get when you open ChatGPT. So on the bottom part, you can see there is a place to write your prompts. So let's demonstrate by saying, give me a story about Ethiopia or something like that. So give me a story about Ethiopia.
If you don't mind, can you briefly give us an introduction, like what ChatGPT, like, because we have
Okay.
for many audience, which they would be interested, it would be their first time to know about it. And
Thank you. Thank you, Alula. So, okay, let me give you that brief. ChatGPT I think it's the first chatbot AI model which basically gives any answers for your questions. You can take it as a Google, but it's a form of an AI-based model which gives you a solution based on your prompts. When you search on Google, you can find already existed files, right? So this AI model it's the biggest model, and it's also the first model which it is on the back end. It has so many data that can give us any information that we want. So it can do calculations, it can create stories, it can even generate images, it can do everything you want, and that's what makes it the biggest model now in the AI world. So ChatGPT is basically, I will try to demonstrate just by giving prompts, and it can give me any question that any kind of questions it can answer me. So anything. So because I just asked it to give me a total story, it's writing the whole story. So we can even ask him like to make it short. We can ask it like to make it as a script form, and what's on our mind. So basically this is how it works. It's a very simple platform. It has once it generates you the answer, it keeps all the files on the left side. So on this side, if you want to start a new conversation, you can click on the chat GPT box and you can answer, you can ask it any question. So for example, there are examples here. It says explain this code. So there is a coding, and if you click that, it explains that code. You can ask it come up with concepts. For example, if you are in the architecture department and if you need concepts for your architectural design, you can ask it to generate concepts for your architectural design. So for example, I can ask him, I am designing a residential, sorry for my spelling, but it can understand. It doesn't matter about the spelling. So you can type it as you want. So shall design a residential building give Can you give me a concept? So it's giving me a concept which says the green urban retreat. So it describes how to generate the concept and how to build our concept. So these are some of the examples that this chat box can do. So there are a lot of this kind of models now. Google recently launched its new Gemini model, which is basically the same as ChatGPT. So there are options we can use. This one is actually a subscribe. You have to subscribe to use the ChatGPT, the 4 model, but you can use the 3.5 model for free. So it's basically the same, but the ChatGPT 4 can generate images, and for example, you can attach an image. For example, I have some images on my desktop, and I can upload the picture. For example, let me upload one of my pictures, and let me ask him what the picture is. For example, I have a picture of okay. So you can see there is a shepherd. So it automatically gives me the description of the image. This image captures a moment of a guy sitting against the wall of what it appears to be a simple rural structure with a sheep grazing in the background. You can see all the descriptions about the image. So we can ask him even to generate the same image as the previous image. So I can say generate similar image. After analyzing the image and the description, it can give me the same, almost similar image than the previous image. So this is the image it gives me. It's almost similar image, but we can change the prompts. We can find the prompt in this. It says create an image of a young boy in a rural clothing sitting against an old wall of a village, something like that. So with this example, let's proceed with the popular text-to-image model, which is called Midjourney. Midjourney, I think it's the most popular image to text to image model. So let's try to see that model. So it's actually now in a Discord mode. So it has its own website. Let me try to connect the website. Give me just 30 seconds. So this is a website. As you can see, it's the same platform. It's a little bit, this one is an image. That one is a chatbot. So let us give the previous text to the image model. For example, let us, or we can prompt a new text. For example, I can say generate an interior design of a living room in a minimal, in the style of minimal architecture. We can say that, and there is settings here which shows the aspect ratio of the image. We can make it 1:2 aspect ratio, 2:3, 3:4, any aspect ratio we want. Let's leave this at 16:9, and there is some stylizations, weirdness, varieties. These are, the stylization is like how stylish the image you want to make it. So there is numbers from 0 to 1000. You can use whatever style you want. So let's leave this 200, and the weirdness we can left it to 0. And the varieties, once it generates the image, it gives us 4 images. So when we increase the number of the variety, it gives us 4 different types of image. So let's but if we make it 0, it gives us 4 similar images. So let's make this on 60, and we can left the others here, and we can say generate. Okay. Generate. There we design. Then we have to wait I think 1 or 2 minutes to generate the image. So until it generates the image, let me show you the other model. And the other model is called 11 Labs. And 11 Labs is a model which is which generates voice from text. So let me show you this one. So this is a platform, and so you just have to give it let me sign in. So you can see here there is a part to type a text, any text you want, and there is a model which you can use a sound, the voice actors. So when I click this, for example, so we can use any of these models. For example, let me use Michael here. So after choosing my model, I will type anything. So let us take the text from the ChatGPT, which, for example, we can take this text and we can paste on the model, and we can use the voice actor Michael, and we can say generate here. That's as easy. We will wait a little bit seconds and we can hear the generated voice.
We can't hear the voice. Maybe if you can make it loud.
Okay, I make it. I can. You can't hear it.
Yes, we can't hear it. I think sometimes.
Okay, so I'm listening the voice of.
It's okay, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, I think I don't know what to do, but it clearly gives me the sound of the voice of these texts. Yeah, this is more of helpful for narration, voiceovers, and especially if there is anyone who is interested in filmmaking or even to give lectures, anything to do, you can be as creative as you want. So if you don't want to hire some voice actors to narrate your story or your presentation or anything, so you can give the text, you can give texts to the model, and it will generate a voiceover with whichever sound you want. The other the other thing is you can train the model with anyone you want. So if I want Alula's voice, I need to have a 30 minutes Alula voice. So I train that voice to the model. Then it gets the voice of Alula, and it can give me this this voice with Alula's voice, and that's the advancement of this, especially this 11 labs model. That's I use this for most of the time for my movie projects. So we can see the image generated on the Midjourney website. So this is the interior that give us that the prompt gave us. So this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. You can see it. So it gives us 4 different interiors because we make the varieties with the maximum number. So to be specific, you can give it the color of the wall, the couch type, the ceiling, the floor, the furnitures, the coffee table, everything. You can give it with a prompt, and it gives you the image. So let us take this image and we can save it, and we can see the third model. Our third model is it's image to video. So it's called Runway ML. There are actually lots of models on the AI models on the market, but I'm trying to show you the best ones. So you don't have to use exactly what I am using, but I just want to show you and demonstrate how to use it. It's very simple. If once you get the idea, you can train yourself and you can get whatever you like. So let me upload the interior design that we generated now. So this is called runway. You can upload the image here, and you can just press generate 4 seconds. So it can give us a 4 seconds video, but we have to wait a little bit, maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds. It will generate the video for us. So to mention some of the models for this video models, this is runway. There is another popular one which is called Pika Labs, and there is another one, Stable Diffusion Video, and there is also which is called Leonardo AI. You can use whatever you want, which is available, which you can get freely on the websites. So for me, this one is the best because it's somehow consistent, and it gives, you can direct it like how you want. I will show you. Okay, it generated the video. So this is the video. It's kind of zoom into the, it's trying to zoom into the couch. But when we see there is a camera control button, so you can do custom camera movements for the video. For example, you can zoom in a little bit, you can zoom out, or you can rotate the camera. You can see it. You can pan left and right. You can pan up and down. You can just tilt the camera down and up. So you are like a director. So you can do whatever you want. And the other thing is there is a motion brush. So you can, for example, I can brush this tree, and I can give it like to go to left side or right side, or the proximity near me or far to the camera, or I can give it an ambient, some noise, so we can direct like we want. So that's how the image to video model works. So finally, I will show you one of the biggest models that upscale image, which a low-res image. So let us try to find some low-res image. For example, we can use some pictures, historical pictures. For example, Adwa. For example, the battle. For example, we can use this picture, and let's save it, and we can upload this image to the model, and we can give it a prompt if we want to, but we can leave it empty, and we can mention how big we want the size. So I will leave it in 2 times. And there are some things, the creativity, the HDR, resemblance, and fractality. We can leave all on 3, on 0, and we can see how it upscales this image. So I can show you the other model. The other model is called Pika. So it's the same model as Runway. We can add image. For example, let me add this image, and I can just hit the generate button here. And after loading for some time, it will give us a video. Okay, so the upscale is done. So you can see it tries to upscale it, but because I give him the creativity to 4, it keeps getting weird image. So I can leave this at 0, and I can make it 4 times, and let's see what it does. And we can see the video generation here. It's on 48%. I can show you some of my works until it generated some image that I generated. So these are movies. You can see it on my website. It said abenezerarts.com. And these are some of the images I generated for the work, which is called Face of Ethiopia. Most of the images are generated with Midjourney.
Can you give us some information, like do you generate them this for specific projects on request, or just for fun?
So I started this AI image for fun, actually. I will show you on the at the end that my first AI generation, what it looks like, and I can show you my last AI generation, and you can see the difference between both of them and how even the AI revolution is changing within a little bit of time, and you can guess how it will end, like after 2 or 3 years. And my so I started it for fun, but now I am doing some projects which are basically a movie projects for some companies and businesses. So it started as a fun, but now it's my it's basically my job. I'm doing AI projects for people, and I have one project which is very big project that I'm doing now. It's actually a 6-minute movie project. When I finalize the project, I can upload it on my website, and you can, I think, see it, and you can give me some feedbacks too. So let us see the. It's not that good on this one because it's a very low-res model, but if we upload some medium image, for example, if we can put this one, we can get a very nice output. The final thing, like, the idea. So this magnific tool, it upscales a very low res pictures to a high quality, and it's really struggles to upscale this one. But I think you get the idea of what these AI tools do. So basically, my process is pretty same than the same as I show you. So I generate image, whatever image I want. Then I convert those images into videos using Runway. Then I will take that video and on post-production on Adobe Premium After Effects, and I will add an AI voice from 11 Labs. So it's gonna be a movie. It's as simple as that. So this is my process, how I generate images, videos, and audios. The more you use the models, the more you're gonna be familiar with it. But the basic idea is very simple. Even you don't need a detailed tutorial to start immediately. And I recommend everyone to start using AI, because it's a revolutionary thing. We're not no more going to use these old models to edit images or videos. Even the image editing softwares, Photoshop, every model, they are integrating with AI. So there is a saying that's which is AI will not replace you, but a person who uses AI will replace you. So that's pretty true. Everybody says, oh, AI is gonna replace us. AI is going to replace us. AI by itself is a tool. I don't think AI will replace people, but people who use AI will replace the people that are not using AI. So we have to be somehow curious about AI. We don't have to be like, we don't have to be afraid of it. I think everyone should start using these AI models because they have a big potential on them, and we can change every direction in how we use it. So that's what I have. and I can show you my first generated image. For example, this is it's going to be okay. Let me go to the I've generated more than 7,000 images, so I have to go back. In meantime, do you have any questions?
You are mentioning several this platforms. Which ones are like accessible for free, and which ones do need subscription? Can you just briefly go through them?
So every AI model that I speak actually needs a subscription, but there are similar image models that doesn't need any subscription. So I can tell you one free tools for each model. And the other thing is that even if they are subscriptions, they have a free trial, I think, for some credits. So this were, I think, my first generations. You can see the model tries to generate people's face like this, and these are the generations I made back 2 years ago. You can see it. I was amazed when I generated this image, but you can see now we can generate like most realistic image. So now we are generating something like this. So the model is improving day by day. So it's gonna be like mind-blowing. After 2 and 3 years, it's gonna be perfect. You can do anything what's in your mind. So what's expected is just think the image, and the AI model can generate that imagination. So for alternatives, you can use for image generation, you can use let's start from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, the 3.5 GPT 3.5 is a free version, so you can use ChatGPT 3.5 for free. For image generation, you can use Google Bard. And Gemini also is the new Google model. So it's almost the same. You can generate image by typing a text prompt here. It's free. You can use it however you want. And for video, you can use Runway. It has some trial. I think they can give you 100 credits, and you can see it there, and you can play for 100 credits. And if you like it, you can upgrade, or you can search like free image to video models, and you can find some models too. For the AI voice generator, 11 Labs, it has also a free trial. You can test it there, and if you like it, you can search for other models too. And I think that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you so much, Abenezer. Really, so wonderful presentation, and we could see a lot of your works. And I recommend also other people follow his works on LinkedIn. And if anyone has questions to him on specific applications or general issues. Also, for those of you who are online.
Alula, how am I going to close my screen?
At the top, there will be an in sharing screen.
This one?
I cannot see it from here. If you hover on the top of your screen, just stop in the
Okay.
you will find in sharing. Ah, you did it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone has question? We have also. Okay. I think we have a question here from Kubram Tadasa. If AI is the future, is it considered unethical to use AI in the workflow of our school teaching and learning process? Wouldn't help students adopt to technology faster? Shouldn't we worried about falling behind as AI advances quickly?
Okay, that's a good question. I think we have to integrate AI in every. That's my my thought. So we have to integrate it, because if whether we like it or not, AI is going to be everywhere. So we can't avoid it. I remember when I was at school. Allah, you remember we were not allowed to use these CAD computer-based softwares until we are in third year, right?
Yes.
But I think using the CAD, the computer-aided design softwares, help us when we go out in a real job, because no one is using their hand to design a building. So I know it helps us for visualization and to get more into the architecture world. But using the computer was it was very helpful when you go out for real job. So it's the same now. So if you are not going to use AI for your projects, you are gonna miss it. So there will be someone who use AI and who can do a better job. So I think we have to adapt it ethically to the learning process. I think that's my thought.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Okay.
Mahadar, is that you?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alula, for hosting this workshop, and thank you, dear presenters, Abenezer and Walde. I am Mahadar from the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Berhane University. So I'm interested in the topic for the workshop. So my question goes to application of AI, generative AI, in building, in design of the buildings. So the current applications or software tools that we are using for building design, as you know, are very time consuming. So would using AI help some of the workers in building designs, or could you recommend us some, or how AI can help in this aspect, do you think? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So as I said before, for now the stage of AI is like you can develop at least concepts, you can get ideas, and you can convert those ideas into reality using the architectural models that you're already using. So for now, it's gonna be like a concept based. For example, if you wanna design a mixed-use building, so you can get some ideas and concepts by generating whatever you like. So you can text any prompts that you have in your mind, so you can get some ideas of image, so you can get that concept, and you can use any software, architectural software, AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, any Revit. You can use that software and you can develop your design. But I'm 100% sure even the architectural model, the architectural softwares will integrate these AI models into their programs, so that you can directly generate 3D models, plans inside of those softwares. So you definitely have to use these models for design purpose too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any last thing to add, Abenezer?
So I just want to add, so whenever there is this AI thing, the most common things are we have to use it like for good, right? So most of the AI that we see on social medias and that we currently see are they are not ethical as my perspective. So there is this side of AI too. So because you have the freedom to generate any image, you have to go and generate whatever you like. Nowadays, even the AI models are integrating rules and regulations for each models. So you can't even have the right to generate images which are violent, which are fake, and which leads to what's called misinformation on the media. So my advice is we have to use AI for good and for education purpose only.
Thank you so much, Abenezer, for your time and this excellent presentation. And also in Abenezer is in Seattle, so this is, I think, close to probably midnight. Or
yeah, 12.
Yes, yes. Thank you for taking the time, and both presenters. It was early morning for Frankfurt and also late night for Seattle, and I want to thank both of you, and thank you everyone who we have some people here in person as well. And in the studio, and also some people joining us from the Zoom. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming to this session.
Thank you. I miss the studio, Alula.
We will send you some pictures.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Yes. See you, everyone. Also, good nights in someone from Tokyo. It's Rumi. Thank you for joining. And it seems.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye, everyone.